I want you all to, if you can, turn your cameras on. Sorry. If you can, turn on your cameras so that we can listen to our presenter today. Her name is Miss Janay Coleman. She is the Scholarship Program Manager for the Pittsburgh Promise. She is a graduate from Pittsburgh Perry High School and is proud to be a member of the first graduating class to receive the Pittsburgh Promise Scholarship. She went on to study business management and social service administration at Chatham University. She graduated in 2012, and building on her lifelong interest in urban youth and the nonprofit sector, Janay joined the Pittsburgh Promise in 2013 to help make post-secondary education accessible for Pittsburgh Public School graduates. She is also the co-founder of the Pittsburgh Promise alumni group, Promise Legacy, and she is a proud member of the Oakland Planning and Development Board. So welcome, Ms. Coleman. We thank you for being here today. I'm excited to meet you and to have you speak to our CEOs. So welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. Hello, everyone. Yes, as she said, my name is Janay Coleman, and I've been on the board of OPDC for a little over a year. So still familiarizing myself with a lot of the programming. I'm so glad to be in touch with you all because this is kind of my niche, like working with Pittsburgh Promise scholars and students. This is where my heart is, so I'm glad to be connected with you all. And so I have a little slideshow. It's really just a conversation starter. I want to get to know you all and you all get to know me and kind of hopefully you can learn from some of my experiences and I can share a few jewels that you can take with you. So I'll go ahead. Should I share my screen? Sure. All right, so I want to first start. If you all wouldn't mind just going around, maybe I'll just call your names and you just give me your name, the school you attend, and maybe 2 ups and 2 downs about virtual learning or being virtual altogether. And I'll go last and give you my 2 ups and 2 downs. Let's see, Trinity, would you mind starting?
2 ups, I would say, well, 1, I know how to work a computer better. Another one, I don't have to get out of bed. I can wear whatever I want. I don't have to get up. Well, I have to get up every morning, but I can wear whatever I want. Just stay in my bed. A down, I feel like this quarter, a lot of my classmates were definitely failing this progress report. Because it's so difficult with certain classes. And another down, I kind of did miss school, going back physically.
Mm-hmm. I understand that. What school do you go to?
UPrep.
UPrep, nice. Let's see, Raynell.
Hi, my name is Raynell. I got a SciTech. 2 ups about online school is you can kind of work at your own pace a little.
I'm sorry, you're muted again. Did we lose her?
Did I not hear me talking this whole time?
No, I heard that you can work at your own pace.
I can work at my own pace, and like Tony said, I don't have to wake up early to get to school. And then 2 downs are I don't like online school at all. I'd rather be in class. I have to be in the environment, a working environment for me to stay paying attention and stuff. And I can't pay attention being in my bed or at home in general. So I'd rather be in school where a working environment's happening.
Nice. I'd agree with some of that too. Sorry, let's see, Michael, would you mind going?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
My name is Michael. I go to Central Catholic, and I'm actually like fully in person now.
Mm.
So I guess I could do two negatives and positives about that. Two positives is it's easier to learn and you could communicate with your teachers better. And two negatives is um, waking up early in the morning and I don't really have another one.
Well, that's good. Danielle, would you mind going?
Hello, my name is Danielle. I go to Taylor Dice. I guess my ups is that it's like easy to like turn in homework in, and my downs is talking on the microphone.
Jordan, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. So my name is Jordan Vining. I go to University Prep, and two good things for the upside is, let's see, I'm able to do things on my own. The work is more easier for some reason for me. And for our downsides is, let's see, I'm not able to get like 100% help with some things, such as the schoolwork. There's no physical contact or help. And what else? I'm not liking having to stay on my computer and stare at my screen just because of school.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's mine.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Rebrea. So what we're doing, we're going around and introducing ourselves and the school we go to, and maybe two ups and two downs about being virtual.
Okay, I was here.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I'm Rebrea. I go to Nazareth Prep, and I don't do virtual school.
Okay. Ranique.
My name is Ranique. I go to Westinghouse. Two ups about being online is, I don't know, that's basically what everybody else said. I don't have to get out my bed, and I don't have to be around a lot of kids. I like that too. Two downs is that I feel like I'm not really learning, and I feel like it's more of just read this and do the work, and you can't redo it if you do a bad grade, rather than actually like them teaching us. So we're just there for attendance more than there for learning.
Mm-hmm. That's got to be tough.
I
know.
agree.
Yeah. I mean, just me being a parent, I have 3 kids who are all in elementary school. And so I work from home and I help them with their schoolwork. And, you know, as a parent, my main focus right now is that they want to learn. You know, I feel like if you want to learn, you can achieve a lot, you know. Like schoolwork is very good. You know, you get that work done, but you also want to be able to apply that in life. So I agree with you. It can be tough right now. And sorry, Nicoya, did I pronounce that right?
Nicoya.
Nicoya, sorry.
I'm a junior at Urban Pathways right now. And I think two of my positives is I like that we are on Zoom because it gives us, well, how my teachers do it is we have a space where you can go so you could get individual help, because I don't really like asking for help a whole bunch in front of a class because that's a little bit embarrassing to me. But, and then another thing is I'm happy that I don't have to catch the bus every day because my bus tends to never be on time. Two negatives for me is, what, I don't remember who had said it, but that it's really like you're getting work and that's what you're supposed to do. You're not getting really a whole bunch of taught. It's just work, do your work, next day do your work. And then another negative is I don't have a bus pass anymore.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Rasul.
My name is Rasul. I go to SciTech. And I say that two positives are being able to stay at home, do my work at home. And then also the work, sometimes it could be a little bit easier. But that also goes into two downs, which is one of them is not able to understand all the work. Some of the work, the teachers, they just can't really explain it that effectively. And it's hard to be able to understand it through Zoom. So sometimes that could be a struggle. And then also the discipline to be able to get my work done. There's like an added responsibility now to turn assignments in and to make sure that you're on track.
I'd agree with that. Even all the way to my first grader, he's got a little bit of a accountability right now to make sure he's doing what he needs to do when he needs to do it, rather than in the closet pulling out Legos. So thank you for that. I just really wanted to get to know you all. Some of you all will be Promise Scholars. Some of you all would not be eligible for the Promise Scholarship. So I really wanted to make this focused around just getting to know you all and, again, learning from my experiences. So I'll click the slideshow. So let's play a little game of this or that. TikTok or IG? You could give me a hand clap for TikTok or a hand clap for IG. TikTok. I don't see any hand claps. What about IG? Oh yeah, there we go. So I need to know that. My daughter, she's very much like TikTok, but I need to know what, or high scholars are even into that. Next thing. Pumpkin or apple pie? Who likes pumpkin? Give me a hand clap. Oh, we got a pumpkin, okay. What about apple pie? Got two pumpkins. Yeah, apple pie. What about sweet potato pie? Can't forget that one. That's where it's at. All right, let's see. Start college or start your career? Who is for like starting college right after high school? Make that. Who's for starting their career? All right, let's see what else we've got. 2-year or 4-year school. So 2-year school, that can include trade tech. 4-year schools, that's, your traditional 4-year school like Pitt. Who's into 2-year schools? 2-year, thanks for using the chat too. I'm sure, can you all see my chat and everything that's up on my screen? I'm not sure if you can.
Yes.
You can, okay. Who's all for, or we got some 4 years in there?
I think that it's depending on some people's majors, like what career they want to pursue.
That's right. That's right. Or some of you guys kind of have an idea of what you want to do? Some of you? Let's see. Big school or small school? Who's for a big school like Pitt or Penn State? And who is for a small school like Chatham or what's another small school? Robert Morris is pretty small. It's a private school. Westminster, that's very small.
It's not considered small, is it? Not really.
No, it's not.
Because it takes up the whole Oakland for real.
Yeah, they have some classes that have, I don't know, a lot of students. I didn't go to Pitt, so, and I forget the teacher or faculty to student ratio, but it's pretty big. And then you want a boring job making millions or a dream job with a livable income? 2, dream job with a livable income. Certainly.
I'm living that dream right now.
Very nice. All right, so, stream or live TV? Are you guys Netflix, Hulu, or Comcast? Take my money. Okay.
I actually forgot about commercials until I visited my in-laws.
You're like, what is this? Yeah, stream. Yeah, stream's where it's at. I agree. So I just did that little exercise to kind of demonstrate that life is all about decisions, whether they're big or small. And, and so we're constantly making decisions, and some of them may be minor, some of them may change our lives. And so I just want to kind of go over some of the decisions I've made and share those with you. So as I mentioned, I'm a Pittsburgh native. I grew up on the north side of Pittsburgh. I was a graduate of Pittsburgh Perry, PPS graduate, proud of it, Promise Scholar. And then I went to Chatham University for undergrad. And I am an Oakland resident. I live in Oakland. So I kind of spent from north side to the rest of my life in Oakland. And I'm a mother of 3, as I mentioned before. They are all in elementary school doing virtual learning. So if you hear a kid run up the steps, that's just one of the 3. Maybe you'll see all 3 of them, I don't know. And so what I want to talk about is some building skill sets, and you're doing it right now, participating in the programs that you're participating now, and really building up a resume from a young age. So when I was in high school, I attended a program on the north side called the Pittsburgh Project. And that was my first job. And there I was able to be what they called a leader in training. It was a LIT. And so I got to tutor young students, so tutor elementary school students. I also got to be a barista, so I can make you a mean caramel macchiato. And I also got to do some screen printing. So I made t-shirts, which was really cool. And it helped me build a resume at a young age. And then I was able to get an opportunity to do an internship with the Heinz Endowments. And I believe they still do this program. It's a youth program where you get to, if you're into like social justice and social awareness and helping certain issues like that, it's a program where you get to, you get a set of dollars and you get to fund a program of your choice. You build up a request for proposals, people actually submit to them and you review them, and you get to have the opportunity to help an organization fulfill or continue to pursue their vision. And so at that time we helped Rankin Christian Center, which is in Braddock. So that was a very cool experience I had. Another thing is networking. You network everywhere and you want to maintain those relationships. Also be curious. I know I talked about it before, one thing I'm trying to do with my children is make sure that they have a want to learn. I feel like if you have a want to learn, even if you don't know what you want to do right now, once you do have an idea, you'll be able to have that drive to go out there and learn about it and do what you need to do to achieve your goals. One thing we talk about in our office a lot is informational interviews. I don't know if you're familiar with that at all, but what that is if there's someone in a field that you're interested in, you can set up some time to chat with them, and you maybe have 5 to 10 questions that you want to ask about their job or about their career. And you ask them those questions such as, do you like the work that you do? What's the hardest thing that you have to overcome on a daily basis? Or what does it take to get into your position? Really asking those questions so that you have an idea of what you're preparing yourself for. And also tapping into some career training opportunities. I know that Carla shared that some of you guys are doing this program. You're doing, what is it, Still City? What are some of the other programs you all are participating in? You could just chime in.
Coding program.
Coding. And that's through Pitt, right?
Yes.
Nice. How do you like that?
Isn't it, Miss Carla?
Yes, it is.
I
It's
like
a
it so
partnership
far.
with Pitt, Verizon, and Microsoft.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's a 9-week coding program. They start with 3 weeks of Python, introduction to Python, and then they'll move into an information technology help desk training for 6 weeks with Microsoft.
That's
So
very
yesterday
nice.
was literally their very first day. So very proud of them.
Like, I think I'm gonna like it a lot.
That's awesome. And you know, that's where we're moving. You know, that's the direction that we're all moving towards. As you can see, we're all locked in, you know, to do a bit more online. So that's great. And so just continue to do certain things like that, different things like that. Even if when you go off to college or any other opportunities you may have, take advantage of those. And the last one is speaking for yourself. Be your own advocate. This is an important skill, and I see it every day at my job, you know, where, you know, we work with thousands of students, you know, the entire Pittsburgh Public School District. And a student who's able to call us and talk to us about their issues and really kind of push, you know, why they should receive our scholarship, or push on certain criteria they didn't meet, or, you know, maybe I just didn't understand this certain thing. Being able to speak up for yourself is a very important skill. And so one way you can start doing that is, you know, if you're not making your doctor's appointment, sit around your mom while she does it, or your dad, or whoever does it. Sit around them and kind of hear, like, how are they talking to them? Can I potentially do that? You know, be able to speak to someone on my own and know and make it clear, make my ask clear and understand that. So I just wanted to encourage you all about that. I really want to focus in on this whole networking thing, and you're never too young to network. You want to network down as well as up and across. Like while you're in high school, get to know your peers and maintain those relationships in your programs and while you're in college. I know even for me to get the position I'm in, as I mentioned before, growing up on the north side, I went to a program called the Pittsburgh Project, and I had been going to that program since I was in the 3rd grade. And so at that time, the executive director was the executive director of the Pittsburgh Promise, Salim Gabriel. So he has known me since I was in the 3rd grade. He has known me as a participant in its program. He has also known me as an employee in their leadership training program. And so once I got off to college, I was studying social service administration because my interest in nonprofit. And I asked him about an internship with them, with the Promise. And so I was able to do some filing, some paperwork while I was in college. And then once I graduated, I was looking for a job, and I know that the Promise is very well connected in the business community. So I just reached out to them about anything they were hearing because I was looking. And he actually said that they needed some help. So I came into the office to do some temp work for them. And they liked me so much that they hired me on. And I've been there ever since, and being able to get to know different departments and areas and growing within that organization. But it all started from networking and getting to know people. And you want to treat everyone with respect as you're doing that, because you never know who you can tap into or who can tap into you. So you want to make sure that you're representing yourself well. And then keep your network in mind and tap into them creatively. Like I still use my high school network. So when I need a presentation done to some students, or I need to pull some different resources, I remember that this person does that and that person does that. So kind of like sharing that your networks and growing with it among, you know, all the different people that you know. And so I have this little quote here that maybe I stole it, maybe I didn't. I don't know where it came from, but it's something that comes to mind. Your net worth is your network. So you have to make your network. And then just talking about some development outside of work, you know, volunteering in different things. That's some ways that you can build some different interests if you're unsure about what you want to do. Just doing some volunteer work and seeing how you like those different areas, participating in clubs and sports, and participating in groups around topics that you care about. You don't necessarily have to get paid to do it, but if there's a conversation that you're interested in and you're passionate about, participating in that. I know that's how I started with Promise Legacy, which is our alumni association. Being an alum of the Promise Scholarship, I really wanted to see all of us graduates come together and kind of benefit from one another. And so I agreed to be a part of creating that organization. And then in addition to that, we were concerned about a lot of the diversity, inclusion, and equity issues going on around in our city. So we started some conversations around that with different leaders. And so, you know, you can start it at any time. If there's a conversation or a topic that you're interested in, you can participate in the groups. And while you're doing that, you're making changes, but changes that you want to see, but you're also doing some self-development. And so just a little bit of why OPDC. Why did I join the board? As an Oakland resident, I am one of a handful of families on my street. There aren't many families here where I live. And so I really hope to see Oakland become a livable area for families to enjoy. Similar to the work that I do at the Promise, we see a lot of students come to or stay in Pennsylvania to go to school, but then we see them move away for careers. And so I would like to see more people stay and live in Oakland, not just for school, but beyond that, and see its potential for, you know, to raise their families. So that's pretty much all I had. And I'm glad that I had this time to talk to you all. If you have any questions, we can just open it up for a conversation. I hope you enjoyed that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
No questions at all. Not like she's one of the first class for Pittsburgh Promise. I thought that was, I mean, I remember when that was happening. That was like such a huge deal.
Yeah, that's
and it's changed since you were awarded your scholarship, or, you know, from that first year of Pittsburgh Promise. Do you all have any questions relating to that? And also Promise Legacy, that was something I was not familiar with. So thank you for sharing that.
Yes, yes. And so some of you guys go to some of the schools, some of PPS schools, and we actually have a new coaching initiative. And that's where we will have high school coaches in your school that are employed by the Pittsburgh Promise to help you do all that you need to do to prepare for what's next. So that's career exploration, that's signing up for your Pittsburgh Promise Scholarship. So they will actually be at UPrep, they will be at Perry and Carrick. So they're starting at those 3 schools. So you will see some of them in your high school. So say hello, stop by, say hello, say you know someone now. Yeah, she said, when you were awarded your scholarship, was it more than it is now? No, it was not. It was $5,000. So it is what it is now. And it was also a sliding scale. So I did not attend first grade or kindergarten. So I received $4,750. Yeah, but it's all right. It's fine.
It is. It's more than what they were
now
getting.
They've already paid me the dollars I missed.
Exactly. That's very true. I remember when it went up to $10,000, and the people that came before it was, well, wait, I want my other $5,000. So
yes, certainly. Yes.
I have a question. It's like not personal, but it's like your opinion. Do you think that the Pittsburgh Promise should be like worldwide, because there's only like a couple colleges that really you can have it to receive it? Because I want to go to an Ivy League school. I don't want to stay in Pittsburgh. I don't want to like stay here, or I don't want to go like, because isn't it eligible like in Philadelphia?
Yeah, so it's
Philly?
all over. Yes, anywhere. In the state of Pennsylvania. In the state of Pennsylvania, you can use the scholarship. But students who go to school out of state, they can actually come back during the summer and take a few classes in the summer and tap into their Promise Scholarship.
Oh, awesome.
So that will save you some money while you go back to your out-of-state school, because you're gaining those credits and you're not paying out of pocket for that. So that is something that not a lot of people know, but we try to share it as much as possible. It's kind of like that loophole that students benefit from.
We had one of our students, her name was Janay also, and she did dual enrollment at Queens College and at CCAC. So when she graduated, she had enough credits to get her associates from CCAC that she came home and did in the summer, and then her bachelor's from Queens College.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
so it's definitely something that if you have the capacity to do that, I mean, she didn't have to work when she came home. She just focused on, getting those extra credits.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I see
Michael
a few
says, was it
questions.
always just for Pittsburgh public school students?
It is, and it was. That is
Yeah.
very true. Now, students who attend like the affiliated charter schools, like Urban Pathways or City High, those students are also eligible. But any of the other private schools, no, they are not eligible. I see another question. Someone said, so you had to be in school from kindergarten then graduate. Yes, at that time you had to graduate. There was a breakdown of how you could be eligible for the scholarship. So from K through 12 continuously, you earned 5,000. If you jumped in during middle school, you earned a portion of the 5,000, and so on and so on, the cutoff being that 9th grade year. So you have to start in 9th grade and continue until 12.
Miss Janay, I actually have a question.
Mhm.
What is the most, either the thing that is most common for people not to know about the Pittsburgh Promise that you think they should know, or the most common misconception about the Pittsburgh Promise?
That's a thinker right there.
Yeah.
So I would say the common misconception is that that we just are a big giant bank of funds and we just have it. We are continuously fundraising as we are spending money. So when we made some of those changes, it was because we were quickly spending the funding that we already have, but we still have a goal of funding to meet. But we do plan to achieve that goal because we are aspirational and we know that people care about Pittsburgh's youth. So we are continuing to fund students and trying to be the best or do the best that we can to ensure that those that we promise that the money is there for them.
Awesome.
And then,
Thank you.
Yeah. No, I think you asked another question. I was trying to talk until I remembered it.
You've been reading my diary. So yeah, it's so it was either what is the most common misconception or the most common thing that people don't know about the Pittsburgh Promise that you think is important to know.
Okay. Well, this is not about the Pittsburgh Promise, but it is our sister organization who is kind of like the mothership. They do all of our financing and things like that. And that's the Pittsburgh Foundation. The Pittsburgh Foundation actually has a whole list of scholarships that students can actually apply to that are not particular to Pittsburgh Public Schools and not particular to the Pittsburgh Promise. So they have scholarships that students who attend all types of schools can apply to. So I encourage those that are not eligible for the Promise Scholarship to take a look at some of those. I'm pretty sure that you could simply Google scholarships, the Pittsburgh Foundation, and you can find that list and you can kind of do different filter searches and apply to some of those.
And we share that information with our graduates as well. We have a list of scholarship resources, Pittsburgh Foundation, Poise Foundation.
Great.
They're definitely on there, and they do. I think most of the smaller scholarships actually go through Pittsburgh Promise. So if you're applying for like the Kappas or the Deltas, those scholarships, not that the Kappas are small, but they go through their website. So yeah, that's an amazing resource. I think for me, one of the biggest, and what I always try to share with our graduates is there's an appeal process. I remember not knowing that, several years ago, that there was an appeal process, because things happen. And when I found out, because we usually have someone from Pittsburgh Promise every year, probably for the past 10 years, come out and speak to our students and our families. And when I found out that there was an appeal process, our students were getting it, but we just happened to have a presentation one year, and one of our students was having, had some problems in 9th grade, and was his report card was showing he wasn't Promise eligible. And I'm like, no, you need to explain that. We should talk to somebody. And that particular year, I think it was Amira was still at the Promise. Yeah. And she said, well, no, there's an appeal. And we appealed and he got all of the money. So I don't think a lot of people know that is, that exists. And I think just recent years, I've been hearing it more in the presentations. that the appeal process exists in case, things happen, in your homes, in your families. And, some situations dictate you can't go to school. You won't have that attendance level, or you may not have the GPA, but, if they can see that you're turning that around, you can apply for the appeal process.
And that goes back to that self-advocacy piece, be your own advocate, step out there, take that chance, and get what you want.
And again, I mean, Pittsburgh Promise is to support Pittsburgh Public School kids. And, I'm not about leaving money on the table. I want it. I want every dime. So if it's, something that we can do for our students to help them get that, I know I've written or helped write quite a few appeals. And it's like, well, what about this time? What about when your mom said, da, 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 or you were sick? And you don't always remember what happened in 9th or 10th grade because you're not thinking about it that way when it's happening. So I think a lot of times, because we asked our students, it's like, okay, well, tell me what happened at that time, and let's try to put that in a letter to appeal the process. And they're not thinking that broadly. It's just like, oh, Pittsburgh Promise said no. That's not an option. Pittsburgh Promise is not telling you no. No, that's not an option. We have every student get Pittsburgh Promise money. So I definitely, I wish that, the students, I wish it did, like Trinity said, wish it left Pittsburgh or Pennsylvania. That would also be nice. But it would also be nice if some of the other kids that live in the city had access to the promise, because even though they may not go to one of the approved schools, that money is definitely needed when they go away to school. No other questions? Jordan, Rabrea, I haven't heard from you guys. I'm looking at the chat.
I don't have any questions.
So is Pittsburgh Promise a last dollar scholarship? I'll ask the questions for them.
Oh, yes. So the Pittsburgh Promise is a last dollar scholarship. So that means that we calculate your award based on your cost minus all the free funds that you're receiving. That does not include loans. That only includes scholarships and grants that you do not have to pay back. And once we do that calculation, then you're eligible for up to your $5,000 max to cover that unmet need cost that we calculate. Now, if that unmet need is less than the $5,000, we'll pay the lesser amount. If you have everything covered because your parent works at Pitt and you're living at home, so you have full tuition, we will still give you $1,000 for the year as our minimum award to help you with whatever expenses you may have. So that is another thing that we do, which is very nice and helpful for a lot of students.
Why do prices fluctuate over the years?
The prices of college?
No, like the prices of the promise. Like,
Oh, the dollar.
About, like, thousand at some point in time.
So a little history. So when I graduated, we had the $5,000 scholarship with a sliding scale. So it broke down into increments, $4,750 and then so on, based on how long you've been with the district. And then we decided, the director decided we were going to bump that up and double it because we really want to help students. So we did that. And we did that for a bit of time. Then we recalculated how much money we were spending based on how much money we have. And we realized that at the rate we were spending, we would not be around for that at that time, back in 2017, they're 7th graders. So we had to do some reconfiguring, and that's when we bumped it down to $7,500 and tuition only. So we did that for a little bit of time and then realized that students need tuition and they need room and board costs. So it cannot just go to tuition, because our students who are low income and they're eligible for the Pell and FIA grant, that will fully cover their tuition costs, and then they would get nothing from us, but they have to live on campus. So then we realized that, we must pay for room and board, but that was still a bit too expensive for us to maintain. So then we bumped it down to the $5,000 for every student, no matter how long you've been in with this PPS, but you must be in it from starting 9th grade. And it can be applied to tuition fees, room, board, and books. That's something that we could maintain. That's something that will help all students. And so that's what we went with and we will continue to go with. And we did the calculation and everything, and that should serve with the money that we already have in the bank, that should serve up until the class of 2028. So that's today's fifth graders.
Thanks. That's a good question.
Very good question. Sorry for the long answer, but I felt like it's helpful.
It is.
Oh, it was helpful. Thank you.
Yes, yeah.
So with community college, most of the times it is covered by your Pell Grant, your state grants. What happens? Do they still get the $2,000? I mean, the $1,000 for
Yes.
the additional? Okay, that's nice. So that can go directly for books or whatever computer expenses.
Exactly. So even if you're unsure, there's always the right match thing too. I know some folks, want to do CCAC because it's less expensive, but you also have to consider, what's best for you and your learning environment. So I never want to be the one like, oh, go to CCAC because it's cheaper. You want to go where you'll be successful. But some students do opt to do that to, make sure that they're not spending too much money on college or, save on loans. One thing that the Promise has done this past year due to COVID, we did give students the class of 2020. So that wouldn't be your graduating classes yet since you guys are all in high school, but give them a 5th year of gap year to allow them 4 years, still 4 years to use funding, but 5 years to use it. So say you want to take a year off, you can do that, but you will still have your 4 years of scholarship money available to you. So we as an organization, we are very quick. We try to be very responsive to what's going on because we are here just for that to kind of help a system that's not really helping a lot of students.
Yeah. And when does the check get delivered to the school? I know we gave some of our, we had 6 graduating seniors this year, and 4, I keep saying, in the last minute decided to not go to La Roche or to Cal U and decided to go to CCAC. And I understand that because of COVID, chose to not go away to school and pay that extra money. But I know when we delivered computers and things, all of our seniors got laptops or a scholarship up to $5,000. One of the questions that I kept getting in September was, when's the Promise money coming? When am I getting that money? So what is the time frame of getting those checks out? I know sometimes it's October, but when does Promise payments go out?
So it's really like a time period that we're paying scholarships. And there's 2 folks that do it, me and another, my colleague, Sydney. So we go through, and it's kind of like a chain reaction thing that happens. We're paying scholarships starting August with a goal of having all scholarships paid by the end of October. So depending on when we're receiving the information we need and how quickly we're able to process it is the time that the scholarship will be paid. But one good thing is that we have very good relationships with all of our colleges that we work with. So students are not penalized with any late fees or anything like that if our funds arrive a little later, because they know that Promise money will be coming. Absolutely. So that is one thing that students don't have to worry about.
Very true. I know one of our graduates went to Empire, and when we called to let them know that we were going to be sending money, they were like, oh, great. Well, with what you're sending and what the Promise is sending, so they already knew what was coming, which was, and again, this was August for us. So we were, she was excited to know that everything was going to come together and she wouldn't have to borrow any money.
Very good. Those are good things to hear.
Yeah. Absolutely. Awesome. I know I had a lot of questions because I get these questions from students and they may not think they need it now, but it's also, very helpful to, just have that information. Does anybody else have any questions? I know I'm chatting up a storm, guys, because we don't have any of our seniors. Ronique is gone. So she's like the only senior right now. Relay this message to your sister. When would they apply for the Promise in their senior year?
So we start going around to the high schools in as early as like September, October. only because the FAFSA starts to open up for the next year. So they start to make appointments talking to seniors about signing up and encouraging them to complete their FAFSA. Once they do that, the sign up is to log into their Promise portal. So every PPS student has their own Promise portal. They update their contact information, sign our verbal release, and also add what schools they're interested in attending. Now we know it's a bit early for them to kind of know that in August or in October, but you can always log back in and continuously add all the schools that you think you may attend. It may not even be the school that you plan to attend, just schools that you're thinking about. And we'll just continue to send communication to those schools about your enrollment and your scholarship.
So I can only apply for scholarships as a senior?
As a senior, so are you talking about for the Pittsburgh Promise Scholarship?
Just like scholarships, period.
Scholarships in general. Scholarships have different deadlines, so it depends on the scholarship, but mostly they do focus on high school seniors. So I would say if you are a senior now, you can start doing that, but you should start now if you're not a senior, looking at some different careers or schools that you're interested in. Those are some things.
Oh, no, I got time. I'm only a freshman. I was just asking just to have it in my
You're ahead of the game.
Yes,
I like that.
absolutely. And I know on the Pittsburgh Foundation, there are, sometimes scholarships for ninth grade. They're more like awards. You wouldn't get it until later, but they are very few for especially ninth grade, but you might see them for 11th and 12th grade students. But there's some scholarships that are available for it, all grades, but it requires some work. Like the Citizens, Martin Luther King Scholarship. It's not just for seniors, but I think it's like $500 or $250 for that essay competition. So some of those essay competitions are geared to be scholarships. The Heights Scholarship that we offer is for all grades, 9th through 12th. So we can, we award up to $5,000, $2,000, $2,500 scholarships a year. And then there were, you can apply, there's two $500 scholarships for any grade, and then there's a $2,500 competition. So this past year, two of our students won the $2,500, well, $3,000, but that's not for just 12th grade. They just happen to be 12th grade. So Trinity, you're eligible for that next spring.
Yeah, the one thing I did want to say, Trinity, is that at least in my experience, the majority of the scholarships, like Ms. Carla said, that are available for underclassmen or underclass people, so freshmen and sophomores, they're usually through private foundations. They're usually much smaller awards. They're usually a little bit more work than some of the ones when you get up to junior and senior year, where it's like, you write an essay or you forward your transcript or whatever it is, and then you can get thousands of dollars. Like Ms. Carla said, they're usually a couple $100, and they hold on to them until it's time for you to go to school. So it's not that they're not worth it by any means. They're definitely worth it. I mean, if you can have a few grand in scholarships socked away by the time you're a junior, you're in a better position than I was, for sure. But yeah, they're usually smaller. They usually hold on to them, and they're usually from private foundations.
But don't wait for the last minute. Look, I got you. Look, I'm no expert this year. I know where all the scholarships are. So I'll get you started. 11th grade, we'll be ready. No other questions? We don't want to keep Ms. Coleman all night.
No, I thank you.
I'm only cool. Session.
Yeah, I was just going to say thank you all. I'm only cool amongst middle schoolers, so I'm glad that you all indulged me for a little bit and we're able to bear through this.
No, thank you so much for your time and your expertise. And
absolutely.
We really appreciate it.
Great. Good.
So,
and Danielle did say in the chat, I like this session. It was very helpful. So.
Oh, thank you, Danielle.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you speaking to us. It was a great meeting you. I look forward to meeting, virtually or seeing you, or when we're back in person again. I'm sure, as a board member, we're going to be connecting with the board and staff more frequently, we would hope. You never know if we're allowed to be around people in the next year. I look forward
Yeah,
to
we
it.
don't know. You're like, whatever, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, the
Eventually.
next event. Well, you know, the
Yeah,
next OBDC fundraiser or holiday celebration. So I'm sure there'll be something, but I do appreciate you speaking to our young people. And thank you. Can we give Miss Janay an applaud or reaction applause?
And I will back at you. Back at you.
Thank
you.
you so much. You have a great rest of your evening. And
too.
School and Career, if you all can just stay around for a second, we will
Bye.
dismiss you all. Thank you, Miss Janay. You have a great
Miss Janay.
evening.
You too.